Are you unnecessarily brutally honest? Or are you on the receiving end of said brutal honesty? I want us to have just a very quick conversation about brutal honesty. We're going to talk a little bit about what it is, why it's unnecessary, and what to do instead. In these three steps, right after what? The intro. And welcome back to another episode of the Daily Donna with me, your host, Dr. Donna Oriowo, sex and relationship therapist in the Washington, D.C. metro area, author of Drink Water and Mind Your Business, a Black woman's guide to unlearning the BS and healing self-esteem. And actually, that's where we start. We're starting on page 151 of the book. Let's read. No one has ever required brutality to be a side dish of the honesty that you want to serve them. Sometimes we are giving other people brutality because we received brutality, not because they require it to learn. If you want to talk to people and you want them to hear you and appreciate what you're offering, then it may require you to actually consider your relationship with honesty that is brutal and may require you to consider why brutal honesty has become your bread and butter. Baby, some of y'all are lazy in the way that you talk to people. We are lazy and unimaginative. And what I mean by that is because you were given brutal honesty when you were growing up, because people said things to you in the meanest, harshest, ugliest way possible, you have decided to adopt the same thing and give it to other people. Now, you could have been one of those other people on the receiving end of people never telling you the truth. And so you decided to go ahead and adapt or adopt brutal honesty as your bread and butter. But can we take a quick look at the word brutal? Because it's basically unnecessary violence. And I would like to understand why, if it's somebody that you say you care about, why you've decided to enact unnecessary violence in the way that you talk to them. It's, by its own definition, unnecessary. Now, I recognize that sometimes it's a hurt people sort of thing, but I think that it's also worth naming that sometimes we don't know how to tell the truth in a way that is not brutal. And I recognize that sometimes the other thing that we're doing is we are hoarding our truths to ourselves. We're keeping them over here, and every little thing, we go ahead and we put that thing away in our back pocket until the dam bursts. And then we lay all that stuff out there for that other person to receive in the ugliest way possible. This lets me know that you are a piss poor communicator with love. And it also tells me that you have room to grow, to learn, and to try and do something a little bit different. Now, if you are a person who is often on the receiving end of brutal honesty, and because there are some people outside who swear up and down that they prefer it. What I actually hear when someone says that they prefer brutal honesty is that they don't want to be lied to. And the second piece is that you have gotten so used to there being pain in your life that you have decided to cultivate pain in every other space possible. I see this as a huge problem among Black people in general and in Black women specifically. Y'all know I'm a therapist for Black women. And the amount of people who want brutal honesty is a little bit astounding and a little bit worrisome to me. Yours is not a life that requires you to experience pain in order for there to be change and or growth. Discomfort, yes. Pain, no. And while the truth can hurt, it doesn't need to be unnecessarily brutal. So how do we change up what we're doing? Number one, instead of hoarding all those wrongdoings that someone has, that you feel like someone has violated you with, talk to them sooner than whatever you normally talk to them. Anything that you're thinking of as not a big deal, it's a big deal if you ruminated on it for more than 2 hours. It's a big deal. It's a bigger deal if you talk to everybody and their mammy and pappy about it, but you never talk to the person who was the perpetrator of any hurt that you have experienced. And it is damn sure a big deal if you have gotten to a space where you're pretty consistently explosive after having maintained your silence. Clearly, maintaining your silence is not helping you. So it's time for you to let go of the brutality that comes with waiting and start dishing out your truth as it occurs to you, as it happens to you, and as you are already feeling the pain. There is no peace for anybody to have at your expense. So it's time to speak up, Buttercup. We have to let people know exactly where we are. That's one thing that we can do. Just not wait on it. Number two, consider what you know about the person that you say you care for, the person that you say you love. How can they receive the thing that you want to give them? I'm not saying edit it out. I'm not saying don't say anything. I'm saying be strategic about the time that you choose to have the conversation with somebody. The time to have a conversation is probably not when they're on the way to work, but maybe when on their way back. Maybe when you can sit down and have a face to face and you have about 2 hours or an hour, however much time you need to say what you need to say, but also give them some time to sit in that thing and respond, right? You can also consider the way that you send the message. That's your third strategy. It doesn't have to be a conversation. Sometimes you can let somebody know that they've hurt you via text message, via phone call, via a letter, skywrite, send a pigeon. I don't know, but communicate it. Don't keep it to yourself. And certainly stop sharing it with every Tom, Dick, and Harry outside, and never let the person that has actually harmed you know what happened. And my final tip in all of this is all that stuff that I just said, I would like you to use it for yourself. I know it's a little bit of a misnomer. Some of y'all are brutally nasty to you. You're never that brutally nasty to other people, but you are really mean to you. You would never talk to your bestie that way. That's part of the reason why you're constantly exploding. You're holding all the things back, and you never get to the point where you say anything until it's time for you to say everything. But some of you are also brutally honest, nasty, mean, unconscionable to yourselves. I need us to watch our language, watch your mouth. Part of the reason why I'm saying this to you is because I know that I need to watch my mouth with me. I am, after all, a little bit of a hypocritical therapist here, because I too am just a person. And I recognize this week that I was saying some truly heinous things to myself, but I was writing it down in my journal, which means that I could technically go revisit it so that I could what? Receive those messed up lessons again. Because I too have a relationship with brutal honesty. And the thing is, I think that it's time that we let it go. I think that it's time that we learn how to adopt kindness and love in the way that we speak specifically to ourselves, because this also teaches other people how they can talk to and treat us. And low key, high key, if you are a Black person talking to yourself out the side of your neck like you lost your mind, that's anti Black. I said it. It's anti-Black. It's not something that you should be practicing in. That is something that people in positions of power have likely already done, and have given you plenty of fodder for you to use. Anyone in position of power has likely said already a lot of mean things to you, and all of these things that people think and say are coalescing and using your voice to berate you, so now they don't even have to. Brutal honesty is not required. Find your regular honesty. Find the way to be truthful with yourself and with the people in your life in a way that does not require unnecessary violence. And to the other people who watch these videos, I'm not necessarily talking to you, but that doesn't mean that you're not being nasty to you too. It might be time for us all to watch our mouth. That's all I have for you today. You are the bee's knees. I am Dr. Donna Oriowo. This is the Daily Donna, and I will see you when tomorrow. Be sure to tell me in the comments, are you a person who practices brutal honesty? And what can you do to go ahead and switch that up just a little bit? All right. Bye.